And we're live. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm Erin Reed Makes, and welcome to Card Making Wednesday. Today, we are going to be talking about how to add dimension, how to add a little bit of jazz to your cards. And they could be super simple, just pure silk cards that are principles, which that's what we're going to be playing with, my free principles, or all those Project Life cards, or those 12 by 12 sheets that have the already pre-made cards, how to jazz them up and make them a little special just for you. Welcome to the show. Gotta hit my button. There we go. Music. So can get the free principle. So here's the principle I want to show you guys right here. Let me pop up the comments over here. So this is the free principle. Isn't that super, super cute? I absolutely love these principles. You can get them over at my store. So if you're on Instagram, click over on my bio and click on the freebies. It's up in the freebies section. If you're on Instagram or YouTube, a link is down in the information section. Go to the store. It's 100% free. Just check out. Boom. It gets emailed to you as a zip file. You're going to get the PDF version, which is what we're playing with today. And then you're also going to be getting the PNG. So if you want to size it smaller or bigger, it comes as a file and you can kind of play around with it. All right. So let's get moving on to what we're doing. Before I also forget, this is my Butterfly Dreams collection. And this collection is part of, hi, Wendy. This collection is part of the freebie that, or if you are a VIP member of the Card Maker Success Summit, which starts tomorrow. It starts tomorrow. So if you want to get the entire collection, which includes all the graphics, everything, it is over on my Instagram channel. Sorry, it's over down the info link. If you're on Instagram, click on my bio. You can go to Card Maker Success Summit. It is a free summit. There is a card kit specifically with my class. So when you watch my video, and my videos go live tomorrow, you get a free card kit to make. I think I got it. Here we go. This is the super cute card that I'm going to teach you guys how to make. And you are going to get everything but the card stock to make this. So all the background papers, the graphic in the middle. I show you how to put it together. I also show you, see if I can find it. It's buried in here. Well, I can't find it right now. But there's another additional card. And it's a great way to show you how to use supplies you already have in your stash. You don't have to do exactly the card I'm doing, but you totally can. There's nothing wrong with it. And I just realized that my computer is making sound and it's going to pick up everything. So I'm going to stick it on mute. Sorry about that. So if you want to get your free ticket to the Card Maker Success Summit, a link is down in the information section. Instagram, it's in the info section. Just click on my bio. One of the links down there. And then if you want to become a VIP, today is the last day at midnight tonight to become a VIP member for the Card Maker Success Summit. My additional piece that you get on top of being able to watch the videos as much as you want the entire time is you will also get the entire Butterfly Dreams digital collection. All the papers you want to print off, all the embellishments, all the fun stuff is all part of the collection. So you can make as many cards as you want with that Butterfly Dreams collection. And I am just one of many VIP packages. I'm one of the VIP package. I'm just one of many of the things that you get if you get the VIP, which is also a video to go, an extra video on top of that, an extra tutorial, extra card class using that card kit. So you get the kit and another card class. And that, again, that's just one of many, many things. And that's a $22 value that I'm giving you as part of the VIP. And again, one of many. So if you haven't already signed up, go ahead and sign up. Today's the last day to get the early bird pricing, but it is also a free event and you can join all weekend. But once the weekend's over, that's it. So the only way to get all the good stuff is by getting the VIP. Okay, let's get on to the fun cards. So let's move on. I'm going to switch my camera for YouTube and Facebook. So these are the cool cards we're going to be making. So this is the principle right here. So here we go. This is the principle. I'm going to hold it this way. This is the principle right here. Card with two different cameras. And we're going to jazz it up. Now, these two I have already kind of dressed up a little bit. We're going to come back to this one, and we're going to add something to this one as well. So this first card here, what we're going to do, and this one is already done. Now, what I did for this card, let me flip it so that everybody can see together. Here we go. There we go. Look how pretty that is. So the card front itself is just very basic, right? There's not a whole lot happening here. It's pretty plain Jane. And here you can see it. I'm going to hold the principle down here for you guys. And for Instagram, that's what it looks like when you print it out. It looks really, really cute. And you can use it just like that. There's nothing wrong with using the card just the way it is. You can print it out. It's meant to be as a 4x4 square card. So here it is all put together. For this card, what I did is I put together a little flower. So I found a flower set. Oops, this is still drying, so I got to be careful. I'll put that there. I found a really pretty flower set from 49th and Market. This is the ballet slipper. And look at all these beautiful, beautiful flowers. I'm just throwing things around. And I thought the color scheme worked really well. So what I did is I pulled out a set of flowers that I just pulled one that fit nicely within the card. And then I punched, because I had this flower punch. And look at this cool flower punch, right? So I punched the flower. And then I just cut off one little section, and that's how I made the leaves. For this next card that we are going to do, let's go ahead and put the card front. I have it cut. Where'd it go? It's right there it is. I'm losing things. I'm going to go ahead and stick it to the card base. That way, because we're going to add, sorry, that's my Diet Coke. I just nailed, I usually drink it in my cup. So this is my normal Diet Coke situation. And I just filled it up. Normally, you guys can't see me drinking it because I do it when we're like switching gears. But there we go. All right, flip camera again. Here we go. So you can just leave your card just like that. There's nothing wrong with that. Or we can add a little dimension. So I have a couple of really cute punches here. These are super adorable. And I found some mint paper that I thought complemented it. Didn't fight it, but it wasn't exactly the same color. It was adjacent to. So we're going to punch out 2 of each. If you've got little dies that are flowers, you can do that as well. So we're going to punch. This one's really temperamental. And we're going to punch. Yep. And whatever shapes you have. Whatever shapes you are enjoying at the time. These are, I don't know about you guys, how many people have punches? Oh, this one's a pain, it took us. There we go. These old ones that are these buttons. Oh, there we go. I love them because I love the shapes and they don't go bad, but man, they are hard to punch. And I know there's like a tool that you can get now. Still. Hi, Joan. Welcome, welcome. And everybody who's on Instagram, it's really hard to see when you guys are so far away. All right, so now we have all these beautiful flowers that we have punched, and we're going to layer them. There's not a whole lot really finagling-wise we're going to do, but when you layer them, it just gives them some more dimension to the flower. So that's pretty much all we're going to do here, and then we're going to stick it onto the flower. I've got my Verily Art Precision Craft Glue with the fine tip applicator. So we're going to do the first 2 dots right there. We're going to put this back. So we're going to do the first one, and we're just layering one flower on the other. And I'm going to show you with my hands because it makes it so much easier. When you put the flower, you don't want to put them together like this. You want to spread them apart. So picture the leaves or the petals. You don't want the petals to go straight on. You want to adjacent them. So that way you can see more of the different layers that are there. Just have to use the button punches on the table. Yeah, you have to like really get in there. They're a pain in the tuchus, I swear, but they're cute. They're cute. And I've got them, and I hate to like throw them away because I still use them. So whatever. All right, so now we have these 2 tiny little flowers, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of curl them up and make them into like little cups. And this one I'm going to do super cupped up. You guys can see that. It looks really tiny. The other one I'm just going to do just a little bit. The one that I'm just doing a little bit is going to go on first. And the question I always get first was, you're putting so much dimension on these cards, how can you mail them? Kept all of yours too. See, we tend to hoard our stuff. You could still mail them. And a flower like this, when you put in an envelope, it will just become flat. It won't keep its dimension. But it's more than just printing out the card and applying it to the page, to the cardstock. It's stuck to my hand. So it's giving it a little bit more. You're kind of jazzing it up just a tiny bit, not going overkill. This is just, it's like, I don't know. Do you guys remember it was on Food Network back in like the early aughts, and it was like semi-homemade. She took stuff that was partially homemade. I forget her name was Sandra something. Anyway, that's kind of the idea of this. Taking something that already exists, taking a graphic that's really, really cute, and there's nothing wrong with the graphic the way it is, right? But then just adding a little something to it, zhuzhing it up a bit, adding your own little spin, your own little flair. So this is more than 3 ways, but the first way is adding a flower. So either a pre-made flower or a handmade flower. And I think we're going to add a little gem to the center of that. I always throw some gems in here, and here they are. So we're going to grab a little gem and just pop that into the center. Give a little center. See, and doesn't that just kind of complete the flower? It's so cute. Look at that cutie flower. I love it. Okay, so now we're going to take that and we're going to add it to our card. But just like before, we're going to take the flower that we punched. So I just used the punch here and I punched out the flower. I'm just going to use the one I already have that's nice and big. And I love these ones because it comes to a point. And when you cut off a pear, it reminds me of leaves. So it's super easy to go in and take a leaf. And then all I do is I go punch this way, and there's dies that have this same shape. I like it because it's got 6, so I can get 3 pairs of leaves out of the same one. I have had this guy ever since I taught SDU, which was a Michael's scrapbooking program that they had way back when, and I forget what the SDU stood for. Anyway, it was like a learn how to scrapbook class, and this was one of the punches I had, and so I wrote that on there because I would go to different Michaels and teach scrapbooking at the Michael stores for people that wanted to learn how to scrapbook. And there was like a whole curriculum of classes. It was great. I had so much fun. Didn't do it too long because I had another kid and I got really busy having 3 children. So a little glue, a little bit of a pinch on there, and then we're going to add a tiny bit more glue and then add our other flowers. So the flowers are already there, already have layers to themselves. When I built the bundle, when I was designing this, I designed it so it looked like there was lots of flowers. I'm having the hardest time getting the pin. There's like an angle to put it in, and I'm not hitting that angle. There it goes. You just have to hit that right angle. So when I designed it that it looked like a little flower cluster. And so now I'm just adding to the flower cluster by adding more real layers. So now just put this on top, and there it is. So 2 different variations of the same card. Let me hold up for Instagram. So let me switch the camera so everybody can see. Look how cute. Isn't that adorable? I love that. So this was the first version. So simple, right? And you've added your own little something to it, which I think is just perfect. So you've just kind of created your own little extra to the card. So super simple. And you could do that with any dimension. It doesn't have to be with a 4x4. It could be for any size that you want to do. So if it was a 5x6, you could even go back with this card and you could add the flower cluster onto there. So just to show you guys, we could cover up the butterfly and add the flower cluster onto that. So it works for any kind of clustering flowers on cards. That's idea number 1. All right, let's put those off to the side. I'll put them up here. Well, nobody can see them, so they're just going to go outside. All right, the second one is, and this one you do need to make sure that you get it on your table. And I got so much crap on my desk right now, it's not even funny. I'm going to go ahead and glue this first because we're going to be adding some dimensional dots. Now I have pops of color here. So here we have, there's a pink one. There's this kind of minty color because the mint goes within the color scheme. And then we also have the glittery one. I did not add the glitter to my prototype. And let me show the prototype to everybody. We're going to add a little bit extra to the second card we're doing. So see those little extra dots that are right there? That's it. That's all we're doing. So you guys add, well, at least I do. Sometimes I will go in and I will add the pops of color to my cards. Just adding a card front here with my Xyron Mega Runner. I love it. And when your card is finished, you go in and you add your little extra somethings. So pretend, when you have these card fronts and you have the cards that are already pre-done and preset for you, you've cut them out of the 12x12 sheets, you've gotten them out of the Project Life cards, whatever it is, or they're printables like these ones are. All you're going to do is you're going to go in and just do the finishing touches. That's it. That's what you're calling this, is like the finishing touches to cards, how to just complete them. So this one is still somewhat drying. And for this one, I'm just going to use the teal. This is the mint color. I'm sure there's an actual name. Oh, it's called Seafoam. This one's Seafoam. These ones you can get at scrapbook.com. And as always, all links are down in the information section. So if you're wanting to find out what the pops of color is, we're going to get to my scissors in a minute. Punches, good luck. Those are the best way to find those punches because they're not around much anymore. Is you can find them at resale places, Facebook Marketplace, garage sales, a friend who's getting rid of their craft stash, stuff like that. You're not really going to find them too often. And then obviously the free print file, but most of the selections we have here, I have listed down the information. All right, so for this one, always what I like to do whenever I'm doing any kind of dots, there's a lot of variations. Pops the Colors, the scrapbook.com version. Wendy Vici has her what does she have? She's got her liquid pearls. You could also do stickles. Ranger has a line of stickles. They don't stay dimensional though. And then Tonic has their whole line of like Nuvo drops and crystal drops, and they're all the same concept. It's just which one do you like and which colors, and you know, they all have their, the bottles on the Nuvo are really cute, but these are cheaper. So it's whatever you like. So whenever I get the droppy thingies, I also like to just practice on another sheet, because every bottle I get, see this one I'm going to have to push way hard because first of all the paint's not there, so you got to get the paint, and then I want to practice a couple of dots just to make sure I'm good to go. I want to get it going. There is another, I'm going to do it again, but I just want to show you guys, show you how I store these stickers. This is my storage bin. Whoops. And there's another really cheap one that I've found in the past. There was these little scribble ones. It's really bad if I hold it up. There's these scribble ones. Let me hold it up for Instagram. I found these at Michael's and they were in a pack and they were really inexpensive. So they're kind of cool. But they're all in there, the Nuvo ones. They're all kind of go in the same pool. So when I'm looking for those little drops, exception of I do keep one set up high. I pops the color for some reason I've put up here. I don't know why I didn't add them to the other stash. It's funny how we choose to organize things on the fly. All right, because the paint is moved, I'm going to readjust, make sure the dot's good. Okay, the paint is all the way up the front. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and do dots going all the way across. Just little dots here. Space it however you wish. Just keep dot and move along. Now, some people are like, I don't like it when it comes to a peak. There's a couple of different options you can do to make sure it doesn't peak on you, meaning it doesn't like leave a peak, for a lack of a better term. So the first one is, I'm going to get finished doing both lines, is you can actually come in and you can dot and then you do a little swirl. I feel like that is a lot of work for a dot. If you don't mind the little peak that comes off of it, then don't worry about it. You don't have to get rid of it. And I'm literally just touching, have solid pressure. And as I touch the paper, it's just adding the dot to the paper. I'm trying to be as consistent as possible about spacing on my dots, but it's what it is. So what you can do is you can come in, oops, this is where I screw these up the most, and come behind and tap your paper, just doing this number, tap your paper just like this. And it kind of helps lower it down a little bit. And so you just added a little something to both of the cards. They both have their little lines. I'm going to hold up one for Instagram while YouTube and Facebook can see that one. So it just adds those little lines, right? So it's not crazy. Now, the other thing you can do is you can come in and you can add some dimension to your flower. So this is where you could do the glittery one if you want to. So I think I'm going to do it to this one because this one's still pretty wet. So come in with your glitter. Just, again, testing it to make sure that it's flowing cleanly. And so I can come in to like right in here on this one and just add, just getting it going, just a little something on here and there. We don't want to go crazy, so I'm just hitting these little edges. Maybe these little ball things here need to have a little something. And if you don't want it to be dimensional, like have a puff to it, you just want it to shine and glitter, then just kind of keep rubbing it and it'll get a little bit more flat. So I like that. Maybe the center of the butterfly needs a little something here. Butterfly needs a little sparkle. So I'm just going to kind of take my nozzle, get a little bit of the glitter, because this will dry transparent when it's all said and done, and just add some sparkling. Because we've all had some of the paper where they've had like a little extra sparkle to it. So this is basically adding the same thing to your paper. And I'm sure you guys have done this to some of your stamps. So why not do it to other papers as well? There's a butterfly down here. Let's go ahead and add some glitteriness to this butterfly. So I'm using the nozzle as a way to spread the love, for lack of a better term. Just spread the glitteriness. And then I think that's pretty much it. We're not going to go overkill. Just a couple of little spots, add the dots, and you are good to go. Look how easy peasy that is, right? Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So again, adding the finishing touches. That's all this is about. A little extra flair to the cards. You could totally leave these as is, because these do come as free printables. So this was the way the card looked to begin with. It looked just like this. I'll hold it up for Instagram here. So it looks just like this. And same with the other one. You can just cut them and put them on cards, or you can jazz them up a tiny bit. You could also go in and you could punch out a butterfly and put it on top. You could even go in and do the flower, where we're making the flower and adding this onto the corners. So you could definitely go in and do the flower on top of that. You could also get the entire collection and you could print out a bigger butterfly. That's what we're going to show next, and layer it on top. So that's what we're going to do with this next card. So let me move these off to the side so they can dry and I don't smush them up. All right, so this next card, this is the way the card front looks. This is the way it comes when it prints. Let me show it to everybody. So this is how it comes out when it's looking printed. So this one comes all by itself. It's just a 2-page PDF document. When you print it, you get both of them, which is kind of nice. So for this one, I want to basically add dimension to the butterfly. So we're going to cut up. I just printed this one twice. We're going to cut up the butterfly. So we're going to do a quick cut. And some people are like, oh my God, you're cutting. Yeah, I'm cutting through all that stuff I just printed. It's okay. And the reason why I did it this way is instead of using, because number one, this is what you guys get in the freebie section, right? So I didn't want to use anything that you weren't getting print-wise. All the extra stuff, you guys probably have a pair of nice fussy cut scissors. You probably already have like some flowers. You probably already have a version of a Nuvo drop or something. Just find colors that work. So that way you didn't have to print out anything that you didn't already have, right? Because that's the whole point of a freebie file. I love being able to give things away. And just think of all, and I also love being able to use up my stash. So I'm using up my stash the supplies of flowers, cardstock, Nuvo drops, but also what you have in your stash right now. So think of all the card fronts that you have as 8.5 by 11. Sorry, not 8.5, but 12 by 12. All the 12 by 12 card fronts that you already have in your stash. Now, I'll come back to that comment in a minute. Right here, as you get to the butterfly, it's got the antenna and it's got the head. There's no good way to fussy cut that. And since it's already below on here, I am not going to worry about that. We're going to just buzz right through that. I'm not even going to worry about the head. I'm just going to cut right through the head because we're just adding mostly the wings as a dimensional part. So we're just going to fussy cut this out. If you notice, whenever I fussy cut, or at least this time, I went through and I cut out the butterfly out of the big image. And then now I'm working with a much smaller piece of paper. And it's just much easier to work with. So solves the problem. So this is a way to add 3 dimension, a little bit of dimension. But if you decide to mail this, the good news is that this will actually end up flattening down because it's not that dimensional. It's not super, super crazy dimensional. We're going to do something a little special with this butterfly too. So here we go. All right, so that is there. You could take your pop dots. Oops, there's a little tag along down here. You could totally take your pop dots, your foam dots, and add, and then just pop it up. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And it adds just a tiny, tiny bit of dimension to your card just by pop dot and foaming it up. Nothing wrong with that. Totally cool. Another option is you take your butterfly, you spread the wings a little bit, okay? You get the wings to kind of curl a little. So I'm just coming in. It just depends on what you like, right? I don't want to, actually, I'm going to curl it this way. I don't want to see the white. So we're going to give it, so we're kind of making it like a W, right? So see how I'm making it? Let's do it this way. So I'm giving it, it's going up on the inside of the wings and then flaring. So it's doing that. So see how it's got some dimension now? It's got some oomph dimension to it. There you go. You guys can see that here. We're going to add a little layer of glue just to the center. This is the only place it's going to touch, is right through here. This is why I was not worried about cutting, because that's just the place where it's going to get stick down. And of course, we're going to add some prettiness to it, because why not? I'll mess with that later. And then we're going to stick this down right here. There we go. And then I like to take my scissors and use that as the stick to base. Right there. So you can still see the antenna from the butterfly because it's below, but now you've got dimension. So now it's got that little bit of dimension. Can you guys see that? Here, let me hold it this way. You guys see it's got dimension, right? So it just pops up. And again, if it goes into an envelope and it gets smushed, it's okay. You can always tell the person who gets it to kind of flare it back up, or they can see that it's kind of like this extra little something. So now you can go in and you can add your little bits of glitter to it if you wanted to. You could also do the glitter, let it dry, and then add it on to there. I like adding it on and then putting the glitter because then everything just dries at one time. So I'm going to add a little bit of glitter to the center, kind of the base. And then on the butterfly itself, it's got these little extra bits inside here. So I'm just going to add some of the glitter to those little extra somethings. It's kind of on the wings. It's like a little accent piece. And then it's got these little dots on the outside. I'm only going to hit the big dots. I'm not going to try to do little ones. And I'm just doing the top butterfly. I'm not going to do the bottom butterfly. And then if you want to, again, because this is, again, going back to the second technique, is going in and adding just a tiny bit of a dot of a glitter to the center of any of the flowers you see on the outside. Just go in and add a little tiny something there. Just a little something. If you happen to see a center, pop it in there. And there you go. Just a little bit of glitter, because if you're already adding glitter to other parts of the card, like to the butterfly, just that little extra sparkle here and there, yeah, that's a little off camera, is very cool. So it's just, it's not crazy. It's not, let's go make a whole brand new card. It's taking whatever card fronts you already have and then jazzing it up by adding a tiny bit of dimension. So the dimension could come from adding the butterfly, so printing it out twice, and then adding a little bit of glitter to that. Sorry, my hand's all shaky. I don't know why. So it's got that little bit of dimension by adding that W for that butterfly and fussy cutting it out. Or you can either have a pre-made flower. So if you have a flower that fits the color scheme of whatever card fronts that you're working with, you can always add a pre-made flower to that. So here we did the pre-made flower, or you can do a cut file flower. So that's one where we use the punches and we built our own flower, again, using cardstock, plain old cardstock. We didn't do anything fancy. We didn't do any weird shaping besides kind of like squishing it up, just layered 4 little layers and then a little center. Or you can go in and you can add just like the Nouveau drops to your cards, the little Nouveau drops all to here. This one we did Nouveau drops or pops of color or whatever, liquid pearls, whatever you want to call them, and then also some glitteriness. So you can see that little bit of glitteriness going on there. So many ways you guys can add, anybody can like amp up a pre-made card, a card front, a project life card, the cut apart cards, journal cards, and they can all be different sizes. The 12 by 12 cards, there are so many sheets of paper I have back here, and they're beautiful, and they don't have lines on them or anything. They're just like, they're like this. They're something that you would use in a project life, or they're the cut apart pieces that you can use for cards or on your scrap pages, but they're great for cards. So this is one or 3 techniques that I'm showing you now, where you can like elevate it up and make them look just a little bit extra special and also unique to yourself. And if you want to grab my cut files, now that I've cut this one up, but it's all 3 of these, pretend this one is whole. You can grab these. These are on my website. It's a freebie file. So you just go, you check out. And if you were interested in getting the all access pass or the free ticket for the Card Maker Success Summit, the all access pass early bird price ends tonight at midnight Eastern. So if you're Central, that's 11 o'clock. So it's Eastern midnight. But you can also get the free pass that is available. But once the weekend is over, it's over on Sunday. You can't see any more of that material. Also, if you would like to be part of my card swap, we're doing spring cards. All of the cards I made today would totally fit within the realm of a spring card because the flowers I think are totally spring. Anything to deal with spring, Easter, all of that fits within the jam. There's this, and I'm going to give a tiny hint. We might have a sponsor, and there might be some fun stuff coming in your package from the sponsor. Still working out the details, not 100% for sure, but there's a possibility for that. So if you're interested in the card swap, link is down in Instagram. Link is in my bio, card swap. Facebook, Instagram, I have to go add that, but you can look up Erin Reed Makes. It's on my website, erinreedmakes.com. There's a whole thing at the top that says card swap. You can go check that out. All the details are there. And if you have any questions, you can totally ask me. So I hope you guys loved my idea for ways to jazz up your printed cards, card fronts, project life cards, however you want to call that. There's so many different names for these card fronts that it's hard to say one word, but a way to jazz up any card is adding small little details. Make them a little semi-homemade. That's the best way to describe it. So thank you guys so much for joining. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that like button, hit the heart button. If you want to send me some stars on Facebook, if you want to send me thanks on YouTube, and just hitting, I don't have any way to pay me on Instagram yet, but just watching the video, just like and share and all that kind of fun stuff. And again, if you have any questions, please let me know. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see you guys again next week. Bye, everybody. Gotta find my little end button.